It is going to reduce your stress in the postpartum period because now you have a calm, happy baby instead of a mad, screaming, angry baby. And you're exhausted. Your baby is screaming and you just don't know what to do. Instead, you have a calm baby. You've solved the problem. You're all going to get to sleep more. I promise you, it is worth it. Hello and welcome to Held and Heard. This is a podcast for pregnant and postpartum mamas who want to feel more connected to their babies and more confident in themselves. Here, we talk about elimination communication and infant potty learning as a way of listening, not as something to add to your plate, but as a way to better understand what your baby has been communicating from the very beginning. This is a place where you learn to trust your baby and yourself. I'm your host, Heather Medlin, mother of 3, infant potty learning educator, and founder of Ready from Birth, where I guide postpartum mamas through every stage of early potty learning, from birth to toilet independence. Each week, I'll help you slow down, tune in, and discover just how aware and capable your baby already is, so you can meet them with confidence instead of doubt. Your baby is communicating, and you are capable of listening. Let's get started. Have you ever thought to yourself, I'll just start EC later. I'll just wait until the dust settles. I'll just wait until things are a little bit easier. I'll just wait until I figure it out. If you are an expecting mama, you're about to have your baby, or you're recently postpartum and you're in that very, very challenging newborn stage, especially if this is your first baby, mama, I feel you, then you may have stumbled across my work, discovered EC, and thought, wow, that's amazing. I would love to do that. But there's the BUT word. I'll just wait. And you have come up with all sorts of reasons why you can't do it right now, why you can't do it from the beginning. And listen, I understand postpartum is hard. That newborn stage, especially when it's your first baby and you are making that massive adjustment from no children to suddenly there is a tiny human being, a tiny life that is completely dependent on you, and you have to learn everything for the first time. I know it feels incredibly overwhelming, but today I really want to speak to you. If you are in that stage, if you are about to have your baby or you just had your baby, I want to give you a story, an example of why the fruit is in the effort. The fruit comes from the practice, not the results. And you actually can do hard things. You can do this. And not only can you do this, it's actually going to make your life easier now, in the beginning, and in the future. I know it can be so hard to imagine the future results of starting an EC practice now with your baby. It can be so hard to think like 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, God forbid, a year down the road, when you actually have a fully potty trained, fully diaper free walking toddler. It can be extremely difficult to even imagine that phase of your life, especially if you haven't even had your baby yet. I know it's like your life is just this fast moving train hurtling towards labor, and you literally can't see past that moment. Your brain is completely 100% focused on when am I going to start labor, and everything in the future just falls off a cliff. And you can't imagine down the road. And if you're postpartum and you're in that survival period where it is just like, when am I going to sleep next? When am I going to take a shower next? Is there a snack nearby? And you are just trying to feed yourself, feed your baby, and get enough sleep to survive. I get it. It is basically impossible for your brain to even process the future or why you would want to make investments now that are going to benefit you in the future. But I want to share a story that happened to me this week with my 15-month-old baby that just really brought it home for me why I do this work, why it's so important that we as mamas understand our babies and understand what they're capable of and begin to lay this foundation for toilet independence and toilet learning early so that our baby is learning these skills and developing these capabilities alongside their motor development, alongside all the other skills that they're developing in the first year. So here's what happened. my baby got sick. He just started a new daycare. So if you've been following along, you know that he had recently started a daycare back at the beginning of the summer. We were there for about a month or so. And then unfortunately, it closed and we had to move to a new one. So he just started his new daycare. He was there for 1 week. And then on Saturday, he came up with a fever, slept all day. Sunday morning, he woke up with a rash. Y'all, he got hand, foot, and mouth disease from his new daycare, and it was bad, like so bad. If you've ever had it or your baby has ever had it, you know. This is the worst virus. It is the worst. And there's no vaccine for it. There's no cure for it. It just has to run its course. And it is, if you don't know, you get these horrible blisters on your hands, your feet, your toes. It can affect their whole body. So my baby had it really bad. He had this awful rash, these like big, bubbly, painful blisters all over his legs, like all the way up to his belly button. So it was all over the back of his legs, the back of his booty, in between of his butt cheeks. Little man was covered. And it was all over his diaper area. And so the first day I had him in a diaper at night when I put him to bed, because that's what we usually do. He doesn't wear diapers during the day, but he does typically sleep in them at night. And it was causing him so much discomfort and pain. And he was just crying and crying and crying. And I finally figured out what was going on is that the diaper was rubbing on the back of his legs where the blisters were. And so not only did I have to stay home from work this week, I was just home taking care of my baby boy, but he couldn't wear anything. Couldn't wear a diaper, couldn't wear trainers, couldn't wear underwear. I literally just had to put him in soft cotton pants because that was the only thing that was not rubbing and irritating and breaking open these blisters that were all over him. And we've recently been going through a very strong refusal phase, especially since he started daycare. He's had a routine change. He's had a caregiver change. All of these things can trigger a regression and refusal and just a lot of experimentation, hiding under the table or hiding behind the couch and pooping and seeing what will happen. So all of a sudden, we're just in pants. There's nothing to catch it if an accident happens. And so I had to get really on top of it really quickly. And here's the thing. He actually did fantastic. We did not miss a poop. He did not miss a poop the entire time this week since he started with the fever on Saturday. And so even while sick, even while not wearing underwear or diapers at all, he has been consistently telling me when he needs to go. The first day, I noticed that he had a lot of pee accidents in his pants. But here's the thing. When you're just wearing cotton pants, it is immediately evident when he even starts to pee, even a dribble. And so I was able to immediately say, oh, it looks like you need to go. Take him to the potty, help him get his pants off, which, by the way, is much easier to learn when it's only pants for him as a 15-month-old newly walking toddler. And he figured it out. And by day 2, on Monday, he did not have a single accident. He told me every single time he needed to go. He learned so quickly when he was just in pants and suddenly it felt different and it was like running down his legs and getting his socks wet. He immediately learned, oh, that doesn't feel good. I don't want to do that. And he knows what to do. And so the refusal melted away. He was telling me every single time. We did not miss a poop. And he just was happily hanging out in his pants the whole week. And we barely had a pee accident, no poop accidents. And thank God I had worked with him since birth to learn how to do this. So he already knows what to do. For the pre-crawling months prior to ditching the diapers, you want a diaper that protects your baby's sensitive skin and provides feedback and a sensation of wetness, especially if you're doing EC. Hero is the perfect combo. It's made of blanket soft, unbleached wood pulp, no gross plastic gel that you find in conventional diapers, and it's free of the toxic bromothol blue, that wetness indicator strip that often turns from yellow to blue. And it has a slower wicking core that both pulls moisture away and lets your baby know that something happened. The best part, Hero developed some earth-friendly sidekicks that come with plastic-eating friendly fungi that literally break down the entire diaper, pulp, plastic, poop, and all, in the landfill in a matter of months, not 400 years like conventional diapers. If you want to try the most sustainable, EC-approved diaper on the market, visit herodiapers.com and use the code READYFROMBIRTH for a lifetime discount on your Hero subscription. You are going to love it. But with the method that I teach in Ditch the Diapers, you won't need them for long. And I was thinking to myself, like, wow, most babies, most toddlers aren't here yet. At 15 months, 99% of American and Western culture babies are still dependent on diapers. Their parents are still dependent on diapers. And if you haven't pursued this practice, what are you going to do? He could not wear a diaper because of where all of the blisters were. And so we were able to just seamlessly move into pants because he's already diaper free. So it was no big deal. But I just want to challenge you to think about this. If this were you and you were in this situation and this was your baby, wouldn't you want to have laid the foundation already to help them become aware of their body, to help them communicate to you so that you can stay on top of this during this sick time? And if so, isn't it interesting that suddenly you would become hyper aware of their signals? You would become ultra interested in paying attention to what's going on. And your baby has been capable all along. They didn't suddenly become capable just because they got sick and you took the diapers away. The capability has been there all along. And there are so many people who just say they don't believe in EC, they don't believe it's possible. How could a baby possibly have this awareness or the ability to hold it? And it's incredible what suddenly appears, what kind of skills suddenly appear when you take away the thing that's standing in between your baby's awareness and your awareness of their needs. When you get rid of the diaper, and I've talked about this before, I had an episode all about this, I call it the diaper effect. When you get rid of the diaper and you suddenly have clear visibility into what's happening and exactly when your baby is going, and your baby is receiving feedback when they go, there is immediate feedback. They immediately know, oh, I felt that feeling. I peed. Now I'm wet. Pee means wet. Pee doesn't just get whisked away and disappeared because you have an ultra high performance diaper that can keep your baby dry for 12 hours and you will never know the difference. Your baby knows, you know, and suddenly you're in tune with each other. Suddenly you're responding. You're recognizing signals. You're recognizing patterns. You're going to respond. You're going to notice that when your baby suddenly gets quiet and goes and hides behind the couch, they might need to poop. You're going to suddenly realize that when your baby starts to get fussy in the carrier and all of a sudden they went down, or they were eating happily in their high chair and now they're throwing food and trying to get out, these things mean something. These things are signals. Your baby is always signaling for the potty, whether you're paying attention to it or not. And so I share this because I just want to show you not only the long-reaching benefits of starting an EC practice with your baby early and allowing these skills to naturally develop over time as your baby grows and develops and becomes more physically mobile and physically capable, but also just to really challenge this assumption that babies can't do it, or it's unnecessary, or maybe it's for some moms, but not all moms. It's for everyone. It's for every baby. Every baby has this capability, and every mother has the ability to start paying attention. And this is the fruit of the practice. I'm so glad that my baby is already diaper free when we're going through this illness and this horrible rash that he has. It is starting to dry up, thank God. This is the first night, y'all. This is the first night that he has not woken up within an hour after putting him to bed. I mean, I couldn't get anything done. I couldn't sleep. I barely could get the lunches made. I've been exhausted because he's been waking up after I put him to bed every night because he's so uncomfortable. So it is a blessing that I can even sit here and record this for you. We've just been going through it. And I'm so glad that he's diaper free, because if he were wearing a diaper and he were to poop in a diaper, he would have poop touching open bleeding sores on his body. The risk of infection would be extremely high. The discomfort of that would be extremely high, especially when I would have to go and wipe him. But no, every single poop that he's had since he got sick went directly into the toilet, not all over his body, not into a diaper, directly into the toilet. And so there are such serious benefits from having a practice like this. And the fruit comes not just in the moment while you are doing this with your baby, but also in the long term, when you have them diaper free by 1 year old, when you have them diaper free by walking. I promise you, it's worth it. And the best time to start is now. It's with your newborn baby because they're a blank slate. They have not developed habits of using a diaper and not telling you. They haven't learned to disregard this information. Their awareness of their body is so strong when they're a newborn because this is the way that God designed them. God designed your baby to be fully aware of their body, to be able to communicate their needs to you. And you already have this incredible connection and intuition about what's going on with your baby to be able to tune in and recognize that and respond in the moment. And so the sooner we start after birth, the stronger that awareness and communication is going to be, and the easier it's going to be for you to recognize it. There's a reason that crying typically peaks around 4 to 6 weeks postpartum with your baby. It's because they are hyper aware of what's happening with their body and no one is doing anything about it. And that is why so many babies will just cry and cry and cry and cry. And the parents are like, well, we fed them. They aren't tired. Their diaper is dry. Why are they crying? Their diaper is dry because they do not want to poop on themselves. And we can recognize this and respond in the moment and take them and help them. And it is going to alleviate the crying instantly. It is going to reduce your stress in the postpartum period because now you have a calm, happy baby instead of a mad, screaming, angry baby, which is causing alarm bells to go off in your head and you're exhausted and your baby is screaming and you just don't know what to do. Instead, you have a calm baby. You've solved the problem. They're happy. You're happy. You're all going to get to sleep more. I promise you, it is worth it. And you can do hard things. And there was a moment this week while my baby had woken up for the 4th time. I literally had to put him to bed 4 times Sunday night. He was just crying and crying and crying. He was in so much pain. He couldn't calm down. And I was just holding him in his bedroom and walking back and forth. I'm exhausted. I have been woken up. I'm tired. I need to sleep. He's crying. I'm trying to figure out how to soothe his pain. And I said out loud to myself, I said, Heather, motherhood is your ministry. You can do hard things. Just saying that out loud, it immediately helped me feel like I can do this. I can stay with him as long as it takes to get him comfortable and calm him down and get him back to sleep. I would literally have this feeling of like, oh, well, this is going to be the first all-nighter I've pulled in a while. He did go back to sleep, but I just accepted it. I just accepted that I was going to be with him as long as it took. And I was actually looking for a verse in my Bible to kind of explain that feeling and share that with you guys. And the one that I found fit this so much better than I possibly could have come up with myself. And I want to read it to you. This is Psalm 42:8. It says, "But each day the Lord pours his unfailing love upon me, and through each night I sing his songs, praying to God who gives me life." I was literally just holding my baby, pouring my unfailing love out on my baby because I'm going to be with him no matter what it takes. I'm going to serve him no matter what it takes because he is my child and I love him and I have unfailing love for him and I will do whatever it takes to take care of him. And through the night, I was literally singing Jesus Loves Me to him. That's his favorite song. I sing it every night when he goes to bed. And I was literally praying to the Holy Spirit. I was like, God, give me strength to make it through this night. Give me perseverance to stick with it. Help me to have an attitude of service instead of an attitude of selfishness. Of, I need to go to bed. I'm just going to leave him to cry. I can't do this anymore. I can do this. I can do hard things. And our unfailing love for our children is just a dull reflection of the Father's love for us. And I have realized this since having children. As I've gotten deeper into my motherhood journey, I've got deeper into my journey to faith. I was not a Christian when I became a mother. This is a recent thing that has happened. But as I have continued to learn who God is through my study of the Bible, I love to read and I love to research. And so this has been a really fascinating journey for me. But as I have gotten to know who God is more and more and more, I see so many parallels between how we raise our children, how we take care of our children, the emotional struggles, the disappointment when they do wrong, the unfailing love, the service that it takes, the perseverance. I will be there for you no matter what. That is how God loves us. And it is teaching me so much about myself through my motherhood journey in serving my children. And so I just really want to encourage you, if you are in that space where you're about to give birth or you're in that early postpartum period and you just feel like, I'm in the trenches, it cannot get worse than this. Mama, you can do hard things. You were made for this. The right time to start understanding your baby is now. Your baby is going to benefit from it. You are going to benefit from it. And you can do hard things. And I promise you, it's going to make everything easier. If you need help figuring out what your baby's signals are, I have an awesome program that you can jump into. It's very inexpensive. It's called the First Catch Weekend. It runs every weekend. And for $27, you will get 3 emails, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that will walk you through exactly what you need to know to get started and get your first catch in the potty. I'm going to teach you how to sit your baby in the potty, how to hold them correctly. You do not need any gear. You do not need any supplies. This is assuming that you have nothing. I'm going to help you get your first catch, to try this for yourself and see that it works, and to allow your baby to teach you the rest. I'm going to show you exactly when to look so that you can see the signal yourself, see what the signal looks like with your baby through their voice, and you will never be able to unsee this again. So if you want to try this for yourself, the First Catch Weekend, you can sign up. It runs every single weekend. I promise you, it is going to change the way you see your baby forever. All right. So thank you so much for listening today. And if you enjoyed this episode, or you want to hear more like this, or you even have a topic suggestion that you would love for me to discuss, or you have a question, I love to take your questions and answer them on here. You can email me at hello@readyfrombirth.com, or you can DM me over on Instagram at readyfrombirth.ec. Thanks so much for listening. I will catch you next week. Bye for now. If you loved today's episode, would you take a moment to help me reach even more mamas with this message? Leave me a review or share this with a friend. You can help even more families discover what's possible. You can find education and support for every stage of your baby's potty learning journey at readyfrombirth.com. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at readyfrombirth.ec. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back every Monday with a brand new episode. See you next time. Bye for now.